Top 25 matchup. It's the SEC on CBS. Baby Shark in the building, got the sling rocking. Arkansas currently on a 6 line in Jerry Palm's latest bracketology. Kentucky a 2 seed according to JP, but the Hogs laying 2 at home. File that one away for later. Early first half, we pick it up. Arkansas up 2, JD Note. If you don't know, now you know. Arkansas up by 5 off the step back 3. Then 3 minutes later, more Note. Matt, this young man, he's got the in the building range. Like, you got to guard him in the parking lot.
Absolutely. Not a absolute shooter, automatic from 3, but hit some big ones there, and that was big in the first half for Arkansas.
Capped off a 15-0 run. Big first half for Note. Kentucky in need of a response. Enter Oscar Tshiebwe, the big man, making a big impact. Makes it a 9-point game there. Then a few minutes later, Tshiebwe down those spins, wins. Kentucky back down 9, trailed by 6 at the break. Tshiebwe 14 at the break, Note 18. These two stars dueling. Early second half now. Kentucky down 5. Xavier Wheeler dishes out to Tshiebwe. Tshiebwe inside. Kentucky down 3. 3 minutes later, 1-point game. And just like that, it's a Kentucky lead. Keon Brooks Jr. Euro stepping his way in, Matt. Kentucky's first lead since 2-0. Some secondary scoring there on their roster.
Just a big-time SEC matchup here, and I really like Kentucky's fight throughout this entire game.
And both teams would get into their offensive bag a bit mid-second half. Note misses. Brooks grabs the board. Kamani Johnson swipes it, kicks it out to Stanley Amude, who drills the open 3. Arkansas back up 1. You can hear the Woo Pig Suey in the distance. 3 minutes later, Kentucky down 1. Wildcats forcing the turnover. Wheeler in transition. Misses, but look who it is. Tshiebwe with the board and the putback. Kentucky back up 1. Team high 30 points, 18 boards for Tshiebwe. Some history we'll detail in a bit. Minute later, game tied at 63. Matt, all the focus on Note, but Jalen Williams spectacular as well.
Humongous down the stretch in Arkansas. How about this? 58% inside the 3-point line in this game against Tshiebwe in that front line.
Great stuff. And then 2 minutes later, Kellen Grady contested corner 3, all of them. Kentucky back up 1. 16th lead change of the game. Less than a minute later, Note driving, dishes to Williams. He gets the tough shot to fall. Arkansas back up 1. We're going crazy. Williams 16 points, 12 boards. Arkansas would go up 3 at the line. Kentucky still with a chance to tie. 29 seconds remaining in regulation. Tick, tick, tick. Down by 3. Shot won't go. Board by the Razorbacks. Gonna come up with it. It's Devontae Davis who finally gets fouled and heads to the line, and that would seal the deal. But wait, we've got some action to figure out. Spread and total still to be decided. Kentucky would foul, sending Davis to the line for 2. We need 1. We need 1 for the over, Davis. He's 72.5 on the season. Second one goes, cash the over tickets. Arkansas now up 5, favored by 2, ensuing inbounds. It's a winning ticket until it wasn't.
Oh, that happened.
Ty Washington, the deep 3, and just like that, you got to push. And there's a happy fan there on the Razorback side. So Arkansas goes from a winning ticket to a push, but I think the faithful will walk away with the W with a smile on their faces. 75-73, an absolute classic between these two on CBS as Arkansas improves to 4-0 against ranked opponents this season. Kentucky, meanwhile, 3-5 against ranked talent. So something to keep an eye on as we move to tourney time. Digging into this one a little deeper, it's Arkansas's 4th straight win and their 13th win in their last 14 tries, 8th consecutive home win individually. Note, again, 30 points, his 3rd 30-point performance of the season. Tshiebwe matched him with 30 of his own, and he becomes the first SEC player with 30 and 18 in a game since 2017. It's his 23rd double-double of the season, 11 straight, but this one in a losing effort. Pat Gillen had some players post-game.
JD Note, congratulations on a great win. You had a roll, 30 points. How are we able to score 30 points against this Kentucky team?
Just being aggressive, sticking to who we are, and just knowing we got to go out here and play and beat those guys. They're a good team, and we just wanted to come out here and play hard.
How about your big fella, Jalen Williams, coming through in a second? How important is he to your success?
He's very important. He's our anchor, our defensive back. He's back there getting all the rebounds, taking charges. He just do everything for us.
You guys won 13-14. How far can you go, you think, in the big dance?
We could go win it all. We lost to the champions last year, and that stuck on us, and we just want to come back and go win it all now.
Congratulations, JD. Great game. Good luck the rest of the way.
Appreciate it.
All right, we're in studio with Matt Norlander, our college hoops guy, knows everything about everything, and these two teams know something about each other as well. Matt, as you break down what we saw in this one, really the story of the day is Note. We'll get there in a moment here, but if you look at it in terms of the box score, leading scorer on each side had 30. Secondary score had somewhere in the mid-teens. They shot a similar percentage, a similar three-point percentage. What was the difference in this game?
You know, I thought Jalen Williams playing well down the stretch. He had 10 points in a row at one point for Arkansas. That was magnificent. Jalen Williams has been a little bit overlooked, just a little in the SEC, because you've got, well, Oscar Tshiebwe has a really impressive big. Auburn's got its two impressive bigs. Even Colin Castleton in Florida is a really good player. But Jalen Williams is one of the high-level elite, top 15, top 20 defenders in the country. Oh, by the way, JT Note also is in that category there. I thought he was pretty big overall. And for Arkansas, you know, in the here and the now, for the short term, it actually helps out Auburn for the SEC race. There's now a three-way tie, again, for the moment in the loss column in the SEC. And Eric Musselman, as I watch that game play out and I see what's happening in the SEC, kind of big picture here. Musselman gets Arkansas to the Sweet 16 a year ago for the first time since 1996. Now we look up, this team is clearly a 4 seed at the absolute worst. It's roaring into March. You know, Joe, Arkansas has one loss by 1 point on the road against Alabama in its last 14 games. Few teams have actually been better over the past 6 weeks than the Hogs, and they are roaring and ready for March ball. They
were an unranked and undervalued side just a couple weeks ago here, and now here they are, mid-teams, going to be climbing up that ranking, and it's been much of the thanks of JD Note. Here, career-high 30 points, 8 assists, seemed to be everywhere he needed to be in the right moments. How impressed have you been by this young man over this stretch?
Extremely impressed, and this is the kind of performance for Note that will vault him more onto the national radar. Not to say that he wasn't there before. He absolutely was, but you beat Kentucky on a big CBS game on a huge Saturday afternoon, a higher-ranked Kentucky when you're playing for a ranked Arkansas team. I'm not saying JT Note is on the list of 5 or 6 most likely national players of the year, but I am saying right now JT Note is absolutely, at worst, a third-team All-American level kind of player. In fact, he just happens to be playing in a conference and went up against a team that has the front runner for National Player of the Year. But Note is an elite, as I mentioned before, elite defender, leading scorer in the SEC, did it again today, and I thought it was a humongous performance for him. Get to know him more. He is an extremely important player, two-way guy, and Arkansas has a real shot at making a Final Four push because it has a genuine star like Note. Again, I want to emphasize this. He is a real All-American candidate at this stage of the season. They wouldn't be where they are without him.
Could be one of those guys that steals the hearts and minds come postseason time. And we do have to sort of push this thing forward. And I want to push it forward on the losing side of things here with Kentucky falling short. Coach Cal's team not really known for the three ball this season, 35% on the year, but they shoot at sub 27% here. I believe 4 of 15, so right in that 27% range. That's not their identity. What is their identity? What do they have to do and really lean into if they want to realize Final Four designs?
Well, they will need to shoot better from three-point range, and they have been better this season than they had in previous seasons. Remember, the big knock on John Calipari in previous seasons at Kentucky is you coach at Kentucky, you're John Calipari, you have either the number 1 or number 2 ranked recruiting class on an annual basis, and yet, oddly enough, Kentucky did not recruit three-point shooters to its roster. Because of that, it actually wound up being an Achilles heel in years past. That's now improved because you have Kellen Grady. So I just want to at least address that, Joe. They will have more reliability from three-point range. Broadly speaking, no, they're not an absolute elite team from beyond the arc, but they can rely on it a bit more. Beyond that, let's just speak to the health of the backcourt. Because Tshiebwe, and oh, by the way, to lose a game like this and still clearly maintain your front-runner status for National Player of the Year, like Oscar Tshiebwe did it. 30 and 18. He's an outrageously talented player, but Kentucky is going to need to make sure that it has Severe Wheeler, and Ty Washington fully healthy. They did return. They were able to play, albeit in some limited minutes, but you saw Wheeler's on the floor late. Ty Washington's on the floor late. Let's at least see what they are when they're fully healthy. Might take a few more games. If they can lean on their wings, I still think they've got a great combination. Again, we've mentioned this on Eye on College Basketball. We do have 10 to 12 teams that I think are genuinely capable of winning the national title. If you really wanted to whittle that down and say, give me the top 5, I still think Kentucky is clearly in that group. let's not overreact too much to a really tight game against, again, a top 4 seed. Kentucky, I think, will be just fine when we get to Selection Sunday.
That parity, that depth and talent is going to make for an amazing tournament as we move forward, and you got to be with the Eye on College Basketball podcast through it all. I'm sure you've spoken about it there, and it's been all the rage lately. Handshakes, should we do it, shouldn't we do it? We did see an interesting scene here at the end of the game that we do have to make note of. 4.4 seconds remaining. Coach Cal sends his bench into the locker room. He's still got players on the court trying to run out of clock. Game was out of hand at that point. But when you see something like that, you made an interesting point here as we were sitting in the green room. It's not really out of character for this Kentucky team. It doesn't speak to any bigger picture.
That's correct. Let's accurately note what happened here. First of all, when Auburn lost at Arkansas earlier in the season, Arkansas stormed the floor, and it was kind of briefly a dangerous scene there. So, one, you got to account for that. Maybe they thought, let's get our players that don't need to be on the floor out here just in case now that scene didn't play out again. But also, Kentucky has not been part of a handshake line since the pandemic set in. It's just been a program decision. This is something that basically no one that's not following Kentucky even realized was the case here. So this was not an abnormal kind of thing. I actually thought it was the smart, wise decision. You're in hostile territory, didn't know what the students might do. It's Kentucky. Almost every Kentucky game is a Super Bowl, as John Calipari loves to say. So that was not abnormal. And if you know, it personally doesn't bother me if we want to get rid of handshake. If you want to keep doing it, fine. If we don't, I don't care.
I'm gonna make you shake my hand right
Okay,
now.
fair. That was good.
Great work as always.
I'm good with it.
Matt Norlander, our senior college hoops writer, breaking it down here on HQ. Also breaking it down on the Eye on College Basketball podcast. It's the only place you need to be as we grow closer to tournament time. Matt Norlander, Gary Parrish breaking it down each and every day. All the latest breaking news, prognostications, seedings, and more. It's all coming your way on the Eye on College Basketball podcast.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.